right, welcome to the Not Move podcast. Tonight on the show we have Moss, Coach Common, Otis, and myself, atrain. Tonight we are going to break down NFL's chaos, and chaos is ensuing. Today, literally just hours ago, Micah Parsons, the Micah Parsons trade, right? We just got to pretty much break all this down because it's either beyond idiotic or is it a genius gamble? So I'm going to go straight to the panel. I want everyone's opinion on the current trade and what you guys think in total, what you would say about this trade. Moss, let's start with you.
Before we start, JB, I'm gonna tell you one more time. Change my face on the intro. I swear for God and two white men. You change my face, man. You getting me aggravated. Yeah. So I was talking to you guys earlier before we started. People comparing this to the Emmitt Smith trade, and of course that was way before my time, so I can't really compare it. I don't really know, but yeah, I think people are saying like the Cowboys fleeced the Packers. People saying the opposite way. I think both of them did what they needed to do. I think the Packers got a player that makes them take another step, and I think the Cowboys got the proper compensation, to give up that player. So yeah, I think it's equal on both sides.
All right, Coach, what do we think?
Yeah, I think Jerry just draft day the hell out of Green Bay Packers because with that draft capital that he acquired, I wouldn't say that it's equal to the Herschel Walker trade. Well, we won't know until it's equal to the Herschel Walker trade until we see what Jerry does with the draft picks. We see what Jerry does with the capital. You know what I mean? He could, trade them off for people, trade them off for spots in the draft. He can finesse it for more draft picks in later rounds and, get players there. So it's going to be interesting these next couple of seasons to see how this all pans out. But in my opinion, the Dallas Cowboys won this trade because, and strictly because, one, Green Bay has to pay what's the name this year?
Clark.
Kenny Clark.
Yes.
Green Bay has to pay Kenny Clark, and to my understanding, they have to pay Micha too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they have to pay. So right now, he's getting a year free of Kenny Clark. Right? He's getting him for free.
Right.
Now for free because Green Bay's paying for him, right? Then he doesn't have to pay Micha, so he's saving money there, and he gets what I understand is that a better run stopper. He loses on the edge as far as pass rushing because we all know Micah struggles in run stopping anyway, right? So he loses in pass rushing, but if that draft pick pans out and can be any type of edge rusher, then he wins there too. So I think right now, at this point in time today, I have to give it to Dallas. I have to give the trade to Dallas. And I think, and now we got to see. Like I said, we got to see what Jerry does with the picks, and if he works them right, then he's really gonna. It'll really show that
100%.
that he fleeced Green
Bay. All right, so
essentially, Micah, 4-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro. I mean, the resume's there, right? Everyone knocks his postseason stats, but arguably, we've had this conversation on a daily basis. Mike is arguably a top 5 pass rusher in this league, right? You got Myles Garrett, you got T.J. Watt, you got Trey Hendrickson. Mike is right there, right?
Yeah.
Danielle Hunter. I mean, he's got to be arguably one of the best pass rushers in this league, right? So It's a 4-year deal for 188 mil, right? This is quarterback money. He is the highest paid non-quarterback in this league, right? He just reset the market.
Yeah, I told y'all he
Um,
was going north of 45. I told y'all he was going north of 45.
and you hit Moss, you hit this big, dude. We were talking earlier today. Like this is the Luka trade 2.0, huh?
Yeah. Oh, we need defense, so we gonna trade our best player. Same thing. We need to stop the run. We gonna trade our best player. But of course, they got a lot more compensation than what Nico got. So we'll
Yep.
see.
So Kenny Clark, right? They got Kenny Clark, 2 first-round picks for Micah Parsons. Now, does this make the Packers a playoff threat? Does it make them a Super Bowl threat? How much better does this trade make the Packers, in your opinion, guys? We'll go to you first, Coach, because I went to Moss first.
Don't forget about
Uh,
Otis. Otis just in there chilling, just
oh
having
yeah, I'm about to say
Otis ain't said nothing
Otis,
yet.
yeah,
Well,
Otis.
I
What
didn't
you think
want to
about the
cut
trade,
anybody
Otis?
off. I wanted to be considerate.
Yeah,
So
All
my
right,
Get in here,
bad.
Otis.
Otis. Get in here,
Sorry,
Otis.
Otis.
What we doing? Get in here,
You're
Otis.
good. You're good. So in my perspective, right? I think that I see why Green Bay does this, right? They essentially lost one of their better back end guys in Jair Alexander this year, um, which they need to now compensate for. Whether he was healthy or not healthy is something to be argued in a separate issue. But at the end of the day, if you don't believe in your back end guys, you need a pass rusher to get home. And that's how average corners become better because the pass rush can get home.
Hmm.
In their division, we've seen the development of Ben Johnson's play action pass game with the Lions. I don't know that it will continue the same manner in Detroit now that Ben Johnson's moved on to Chicago. But at the same time, now in Chicago, you're going to have that play action pass. My question to Packers fans would be, do you really believe in the progression of Micah Parsons to be that legitimate pass rusher? I mean, we're talking about a guy like Atrain had said who lacks a productive postseason, and for me, I think they really took a big swing. And this is historically not something that the Packers do. Typically, they're
Yep.
extremely patient, similar to what you see with the Steelers. So, this is something that doesn't go along with their identity in historical senses. But I mean, I don't feel like it's the wrong thing for them to do.
Right.
But I still feel like Dallas won the trade because I myself am a future kind of guy. And Dallas at the time that we're talking about right now, I don't feel like they're going to be able to surpass the Eagles. And they're probably right neck and neck with the Commanders. So they're in the thick of things where this future of the Dallas Cowboys could be something to be considered.
Yeah, I think this is the thing. I think Michael Parsons plays much better with the Packers because you don't have that same situation where Dallas, where your linebackers are run fitting. You don't have any pass rush outside of Michael Parsons. He has Rashawn Gary. He has the backers he has the backers behind him to run fit, and I think they could play better together as a unit. I'm not sure if Kenny Clark is as effective as he is in Dallas because again, their linebackers can't play run defense either, and nobody else on that defense can play the run. So I don't know how that works. But yeah, what you got to say, Coach? What you got to say? What you think?
you and Otis kind of just hit on the head, especially when you pointed out the lack of run stoppage that the Dallas Cowboys have that we've seen in the past. Is one guy really going to plug that hole that that is, let's be honest, it's fucking huge. It's a fucking huge hole because if you can't stop the run, no, you're not going to be able to win too many games, right? So I don't. I mean, like, but I'm with Moss on the. I don't know if that's going to help the Cowboys immediately. See, I'm looking at Dallas I'm looking at Dallas winning this trade because in long term, in big picture, right? I'm not looking at them winning right now, right? I don't see Clark being a very uh a real big needle mover right now in 2025. However, like I said, we got to see what Jerry does with the picks and how he manipulates and moves these picks around. Then we can honestly see who won the trade.
Yeah.
But
So
as
so
far but as far as right now for the 2025 season, oh, in that aspect, Green Bay won.
yeah.
And I
So
think
I want to throw this
and I
question at you,
think
A
this
Train.
moves and I think this moves Green Bay, and I think this moves Green Bay in the in the lead of the AFC North, in the lead to win to be the winner of the AFC of NFC North.
Yeah. So I want to throw this question at you, A
Definitely.
Train. Kind of what Coach was discussing. So let's say a title comes out of this for Green Bay. Can Dallas still win that trade? Well, I guess the question to both of y'all: Can Dallas still win that trade if Green Bay gets a title out of this trade?
I mean, you could say that, right? So we saw this in the past, right? We saw what the Rams did with Matthew Stafford, right? Matthew Stafford deal. They gave up picks. Sean McVay said, screw those picks. I want my quarterback, right? This
Mm-hmm.
is a different situation, right? It's not for a quarterback. It's for a pass rusher. Um, after Stafford won that Super Bowl, everyone's like, "Oh, the Rams won that trade," even after they gave up that haul of draft picks. So I think on paper, especially like right this to this day, if they win that Super Bowl and the Packers actually do bring home the Lombardi, everyone's going to say they won this trade, right? Right off the bat, they're going to say they won this trade, right? And it worked for the Rams. We've seen it, like I said, in previous seasons where the Rams were able to do this. But it jeopardized their future, right? So what the Packers essentially did was jeopardize their future, in my opinion, right? So they are in win now mode, in my opinion, right? So they got the best wide receiver that there was available to them in the draft, right? They went and got Golden, right? You look to a couple years prior, right? They actually made a free agency splash, which is something the Packers normally don't do, is make a free agency splash in getting Josh Jacobs, right? So they got their running back. They drafted a wide receiver high, which they never do, right? Two things that the Packers are known for not doing. Now they go and send 2 first-round draft picks and a player for a top 5 edge rusher, right? So, I mean, the Packers, in my opinion, are in win now. And we're going to have to see how this all plays out because if they fall short, if they can even make it to an NFC championship game, right? Let's say they make it to the NFC championship game and they lose. Is that a success?
Oof, that's a tough one. What you think, Coach? If Packers losing the NFC
I mean,
Championship game,
uh,
no title, just the NFC Championship appearance. What you think, Coach?
I think it's I'm not big on participation trophies, right? So I'm completely against participation trophies. So going to the AFC Championship and losing, it I'm going to say, you know what? Depends on how you lose. Okay,
Okay.
I'm going to go. Depends on how you lose. If it's a competitive game, you're competing. You know what I'm saying? And it's whether it's a defensive, dogfight or offensive shootout. If you're competing and it's a good game and it comes down to the wire and you end up falling short, I can say yeah. I can say yeah. They at that point they still won because you know my ideology. If you don't have a team to compete, to legitimately compete, to represent your conference in the Super Bowl, to at least represent your conference in the Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, this is my opinion. Going to the playoffs is pointless, right? There's a participation trophy. Well, we made the playoffs. Okay, here's the participation trophy. Good job. You know what I'm saying? But if you actually go to the championship and it's a dogfight, you can build on that for the next season. To where it's on now, okay, we reached this point last year. Now let's bring it home. You know what I mean? Now let's get in
Right.
the lab, see where we went wrong, and let's you know what I mean, and let's let's bring it home this year. But at least you know that you have the personnel to compete to represent your conference in the championship. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? You know that now.
Uh-huh.
So I would say yes. It's, if they make it to the conference championship and it's competitive, it's not like no they don't get dog walked and mollywopped and their behinds kicked all over the field, and it's an actual game. Then yes, it's a win because now you know you have the personnel to compete with the top teams in the NFC to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Now, if you get there and just get mollywopped and dog walked, and they show that you really shouldn't have been there, then no, that's a participation trophy because
Mm.
because you see you really
You
don't
weren't
have the
competing.
personnel. Right, you know what I mean? Like, you really don't have the personnel to compete. Like you got here the ball fell in your favor. You know what I mean? The ball fell a couple times, got a couple calls your way, whatever, and that's how you made it here. But like I
Right.
said, if you can actually compete, if it's a competitive game, you know what I mean? It's back and forth. You know what I mean? When we're down to field goal kickers and you know what I mean, using the clock wisely, using your timeouts wisely. Something and it really turns into a chess game, then yes, it's a win. But if it turns into checkers, where I just if it turns
Yeah.
into checkers where I got three kings on the board, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then
That's
no.
oof. That's a
Yeah,
drubbing.
you know what I mean? Yeah, then that's a participation trophy.
All right. So, Otis, what you think, man?
So if they get to here, I'll counter that and I'll say this: even if they do make it a competitive game, my issue then is how do they get better without having that first round pick the following year, right? I mean, it's and you don't have a whole lot of other future bargaining chips to give up to get like say another player, even if it's a middle of the road guy to make that one difference. Like they're really depending on this year, I believe, as going to be the year. And I mean, you're looking at a team that people need to prove their worth on that team. Him included, obviously, but also you're talking about um, Love being a guy who's got to prove it this year. So
Yep.
if they get to the NFC Championship game and lose, I don't feel like they did themselves any service by trading those draft picks because now your future is basically second round picks and back or down.
So I
So
got a question. I got a question for the panel, right? So let's say that Green Bay finishes. So they won 11 games last year, right? Let's say Green Bay wins 14 games and Dallas wins 7, right? Are we going to be saying that the Cowboys are idiots at this point?
No, no. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you know why, and I'm gonna tell you why. The Cowboys, nobody's looking for the Cowboys to actually make any noise this year with or without Michael. See what I'm saying? So
yeah,
if they
that's a
only
fair
win
point.
seven, so if they only win seven, if they only win seven, what you're going to hear is from Cowboy fans is we already knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
We're wait, we're waiting on the future. Like that's why we got the draft picks and this, that, and the third. Right? That's what you'll hear from. That's what you'll hear from the Dallas fans. You'll hear from the. You'll hear from the Green Bay fans. We told y'all. We told y'all. We told y'all. Look what we did. And they're going to be celebrating their participation trophy because they had a good regular season record.
Yeah.
You
Also,
see what
like,
I'm saying? So I won't be calling. I won't be calling the Cowboys. See, this kind of trade you really don't see who really wins the trade.
You don't know yet. You don't know.
The jury
Yeah.
is still out. You know what
Agreed.
I mean?
I think you're looking.
For this year, I can say for this year, right now, 2025 season, 2025-26 season, I can say for right now, yes, this trade put the Green Bay Packers in a better position to win this year.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Green Bay's in a position to win this year. This trade can't truly be evaluated for another 3 to 4 years because we don't know what those draft picks can turn into. I mean, those draft picks essentially could turn into more draft picks, and we won't know. It could be 4 years, 5 years before we know.
And this is my thing, right? So you get Michael Parsons' excellent pass rusher. That does not fix the wide receiver drop problem that y'all have. Matthew Golden himself is not going to fix it either. So you still have that gaping hole, right? So if they get to a playoff, let's say they get to a playoff, right? Crucial third down, they throw a 5-yard shallow cross to one of the receivers and he drops the ball and they lose the game. We're going to say, hey, Michael Parsons had 2 sacks this game. Guess what? Your receiver's still dropping the ball. So you did nothing to solve that problem. And that's something that I can't wrap my head around. How do you trade all that draft capital and you don't have receivers who can catch the football? Like, that's I don't understand that one, man.
Hey, listen, we all know this. You know what I mean? Throughout our lives, regardless of how old you are, okay, watching this sport, you know what I mean, loving this sport and watching it closely, no, we see moves made every year that don't make any sense to us. You know what I mean? They make absolutely no sense to us. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like a lot of the moves my team did make no sense to me. They make no sense. You know what I mean? Y'all know I call my team the Wild Hogs.
Yeah.
Right? It makes no sense to me. You know
all the old heads.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me. So this is going to be one of those things that we don't understand. It's not meant for us to understand because we're not in that front office.
Yeah, we also not spending the money either. We're not spending that money.
We're not spending the money. You know what it's meant for us to do? Go get our popcorn, sit back, and watch the show.
Yeah, true, 100%.
That's what it's meant for us to do. Because, like, listen, we can be sitting here racking our brains forever, dog, and we're not going to understand. Green Bay. We're not going to understand Green Bay's ideology. We're not going to understand Jerry's ideology until, like Otis said, for another 3 to 4 years down the line. Because, like for instance, when Mike Dicker did that trade to get Ricky Williams. Now, had Ricky Williams popped off and became and lived up to the hype of him coming out of college and just started running all over everybody in the NFL, and Mike Dicker ends up winning the championship in New Orleans, if that's Mike Dicker, that brings the Saints their first Super Bowl instead of Sean Payton. He's a genius.
Yeah.
He's a genius. Oh, he rolled the dice. That's how you got to do it. Oh, he took a gamble. He made a decision. He risked it all, and he was and the reward was a Super Bowl. Oh, he's one of the greatest coaches ever. Nobody could have foreseen this, but it didn't work out. So now what we say? He was an idiot.
Yeah, he's an idiot. Jimmy's an idiot.
You gave away all their capital. You set them back 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So we, like I said, we won't know. It's that good old saying. Go for the 2-point conversion to win the game or the field goal. If I go for the 2-point conversion and get it, I'm a genius. If we don't get it, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this is that good old, do I take the 2-point conversion or do I kick the field goal to go in overtime type thing? You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. So, and I find this interesting. I don't know if you remember. I think you were there, atrain. I think we all were there, actually. We were talking about players who you trade for 2 first-round picks, and everybody agreed on Michael Parsons. As you can see, atrain and notice, Michael Parsons got traded for 2 first-round picks. So I guess we was all correct on that one.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
you know what? And a little shout out to my boy Kukui. My
Yep.
man Kukui said he called it that the only way he said the only way Michael Parsons would be traded is if they gave up 2 first-round picks and a player. And by George, he hit the nail on the
Yeah.
head.
100%.
And he said this, months ago.
Yeah.
Shout out to Stewie.
On a different front though, guys, let's think about how the Trey Hendrickson deal now looks for Cincinnati compared to the Parsons trade, right? Like, I think they bargained out of it.
Yeah.
And I realize he's a much older player. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Do you guys really think that Micah would have sat?
Yes. I legitimately, based on that notes post on Twitter, where he consistently said over and over again he tried to renegotiate 2 or 3 times and they didn't want to sit down at the table, and then saying over and over again as well, I don't want to play here anymore. He really didn't want to play there anymore.
Yeah, I think in his heart he wouldn't have been able to sit out. He wouldn't have been able to sit out. I don't think if you see how Michael Parsons is, he's a lot of energy. He loves football. He puts his heart out there on the field. I don't think in his heart he would have been able to leave his teammates out there on the island. I don't think he would have been able to. So we'll see though. We'll see, but
it might have been a catch-22, Moss.
Yeah,
you know, he might have not wanted to sit out,
but had to.
But because of all the tweets and everything else you want to go on and say, now because of your ego, you got to save face. Now you have to sit out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's one thing about social media, right? That's one thing about the social media, dog. It can honestly put you in a position to do something that you really don't want to do.
Yeah.
Because you trying to save face.
But guess what, Coach? As Kanye said, I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, right.
I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we won't know now because my man
he up out of there. He got up out of there.
He got a G on his helmet now. Instead of a star. He got a G on his helmet now. So, and listen, this is something else that nobody has mentioned that I instantaneously thought of. Only because I played that position. Micah is used to playing in a dome. That shit got a roof on it. Micah ain't never played. They never had to play consistently outside in fucking January in Wisconsin.
Yeah, this December, you can't feel your hands. Oof.
So, you know what's going to be funny is I want to see how he plays. If they do get the #1 seed, everything got to come to Lambeau Field.
Okay, but let's not forget that he played in Happy
He played
Valley,
at Penn State. He is from Pennsylvania.
He played at Penn State. He's from Philly. Like, he knows what cold weather is.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
You're
right.
So I thought this was interesting.
I
thought this was interesting.
That's a very good point. I forgot he did come from Penn State. And it's cold, and I go Happy Valley freezing.
Yeah. It gets cold. I mean, it's not quite the lake winds and of the area that he lived in, but they had Lake Erie not far.
No lakes, but so
Yo, listen to me, dog. Listen to me when I tell you. Listen to me when I tell you. It is brick cold in Happy Valley.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys this. I thought it was interesting, right? And so I'll start off with you, Otis. So I was thinking about it. If Michael Parsons get traded and he signs for $47 million a year, what will a guy like Will Anderson and guys who contracts coming up in 2-3 years from now, what would their contract look like? What does that look like?
So I was on a live where I said the answer to Parsons is 6 years, 300 million, 240 or 210 guaranteed. And people laughed me off the in the discussion. They laughed at me, and I said let's just progress forward 6 years. Those guys are going to be making $50 million, and now that market that you're talking about, Moss, is going to be 52, $55 million.
Jeez.
In instead of 6 years, now it's going to be 2 or 3 years.
And also, but see, here's the thing, though. This is what we got to remember. The market is set, right? But however, you have to perform and put the numbers up
For
to
sure.
get that damn price.
Yeah.
And you got to do it consistently, right? You got to do it. These guys that are getting these numbers are putting up these numbers consistently. So it's not like it's going to be a whole big entourage of guys
Just getting
Oh,
55
no,
million. Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah,
I mean, you're going to get 3 or 4 guys that are going to get that much money, though.
Yeah. Also,
but listen, if you look at the NFL now, look at professional sports now, period.
yeah.
You look at certain guys, you got certain guys that put up certain numbers consistently that are all getting paid
Compensation, yeah.
They'll be for those numbers. And then you got the guys that are role players that are getting their numbers, and so on and so on. So, I mean, listen, inflation ain't never gonna stop. Evolution ain't never gonna stop, right? So, ain't no there isn't any NFL owner saying, well, we won't have to pay that. We ain't gonna have to pay that, I'm glad it went up this year, so that way no.
Yeah.
If you get a guy that they know that if they get a guy that consistently knocks out 20, 18, 20, 17, 20 sacks, TFLs.
That's a Hall of Famer.
They know if they keep up. I'm saying they know if they get a guy to start kicking out those numbers, you're going to have to pay him.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay him. Like, listen, you're going to have to pay him. And I put it to you like this: these owners opened up Pandora's box, and this is in professional sports, period. These owners opened up Pandora's box by paying these kids off of potential. Now deal with it. This is the monster you created. Don't be mad at the monster you created. Deal with your monster. Y'all wanted to do it. Y'all the ones that created it. Because, I'm an old school dude. I ain't giving you nothing unless you earn it. You know what I mean? You want to pay these kids coming out of college, all this stuff, all this money, and they haven't even done anything yet. You know what I mean? So then when you got these, that's what messes up the market. When you got these kids who haven't played down in the NFL or, a play, or, ain't had a bat in baseball, ain't shot a foul shot in the NBA game, but yet they getting all this money. So that makes the veterans say, well, listen, if you giving this dude who ain't did nothing this much, what you think you gonna give me? And I've been here the last 8 years.
I done averaged 25 in the last 3 years. I done had 15 plus sacks in the last 4 years.
Right. You feel me? Like, what you think you gonna give me? So, like I said, the owners made this bed. Well, I hope it's comfortable, homie, because now you gotta lay it.
Yeah, you gotta lay in it. I also think it's interesting too, because I always say this. I'm pretty sure y'all heard me say this. The wide receiver and the defensive end market or edge rusher, it's intertwined because they want to be the highest paid non-QB, right? When Jamar Chase got signed, he wanted to be the highest paid non-QB. When Michael Garrett got signed, he wanted to be the highest paid non-QB. Same thing with TJ Watt. So like, what happens like when like Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. they get 1,300, 1,400 receiving yards? How much do you pay them when they contract? You got to pay them $60 million, man.
Or what happens when you get another Aaron Donald that resets the market for an interior tackle?
Oof. You talking now, coach? Hey, Train, y'all gonna have to pay Nick Benito about $58 million.
I was just about to say that. Hey,
Coming
Train,
off
you
an
got a
all
guy.
pro.
Yeah, you got a guy over there to talk about that.
Yeah, Nick Benito, man, y'all gonna have to pay him a whole lot of money.
Hey, but we save money. You know how we save money? We paid PS2
Paying him early.
beforehand.
Yeah.
This is where the Cowboys screwed up, and now they lost. Technically, I don't know if I'd call it a generational talent, but Mike is out the door.
Yeah, he's out. He's out.
And
Yeah,
you
man.
know what? And you know what? Here's the thing. And I'm gonna tell you like this. This is one thing that Dallas did win. This is the one thing that Dallas did win. Whatever happens, you can put it on Jerry Jones for not paying that man early. That's what they did win.
Hey, that's a fact. But
That's what you did win. You earned that, Jerry. You earned it. However this works out, however it works out, Jerry, whether it's you're a genius and you turn these draft picks into something like the Herschel Walker trade, you're able to build a dynasty off of it, or, you know what I mean, or you're laughed at because you gave away what could, you know what I mean,
could have been,
what could have been, and now you got egg on your face. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, whatever it is, one thing for certain and two things for sure, Jerry earned it.
Yeah.
He earned it.
Either we gonna look back and say he was, oh my God, if Philly just dropped 9. Anyway, my bad, I was distracted. Either we gonna say he hit Green Bay with what Hakeem Olajuwon call a lateral movement. He might hit him with some lateral movement when he got the picks. I did hit with lateral movement.
Yeah,
absolutely, the lateral movement. So that's what. So that's what I. That's how I see it, man. Like that's how I see it. But I definitely agree with Otis. You know what I mean? The thing about like we're not going to know for years, for a couple of seasons, who really won this trade. So
So
like
we've talked
said,
about.
I got my bag of popcorn.
Yeah,
and some extra butter right now.
We talked about who possibly wins or loses this trade, but let's talk about something else. Let's talk about, do you believe, whether it was your team or another team, do you believe the money he's getting, that he's worth the money he's getting?
No.
Hey, only time will tell.
No. I'm gonna say no because, like I told you, I don't do potential. I do you earn. I don't do potential. I do. You get what you earn.
Okay, Common. So
I don't feel as though he earned it because this is what I try to explain to people, Otis, and you'll probably agree with me. The defensive end / edge rusher / outside linebacker, how they use it now when he's on the line of scrimmage. Your primary objective is to seal the edge, is to squeeze down on the seat, seal the edge, right? And don't let nobody get outside your outside shoulder. Stretch him out to the sideline, whatever, right? That's your primary objective in that position. Sacks, quarterback sacks are bonuses. Those are bonuses. Because all I can really ask of my edge rusher is that he seals that edge. Nobody gets anywhere on that edge. Whether you're running or passing, you don't come on my edge. That's what I can ask of him. So now when you're sealing the edge and making sacks, you're doing your job and you're giving me bonus work. You're giving me bonus points. Michael Parsons is not good at stopping the run and sealing that edge. And I always use the example of He doesn't want to do any of the regular schoolwork. He only wants to do the extra credit assignments.
So I will say, I at 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 first glance, at like thinking about the position itself, right? That is essentially his run stopping assignment. Yes, his ideally, not speaking schematically based on a coach and their philosophy, that is his run stopping position. His run fit is to steal the edge. I will say though that in certain situations, depending on where you are positioned in that 3-4 defense, if you look at Highsmith, right? Highsmith essentially isn't asked always to set the edge, right? I mean, we know that in third and long situations, which is where most teams win football games, the bottom line is you're trying to pursue the quarterback, right? And that also takes care of the back end of your defense, which I feel like in Green Bay isn't very, very efficient all the time. So it could be dependent upon the way that they use their defensive end in that defense. At the same time, my question would be, if he is to get, let's just say, 14 sacks and then get 10 sacks and then get 12 sacks, but in the postseason his numbers still remain the trend that it's on, he's definitely not worth the money. But if you flip it and say he gets them to the NFC Championship and they lose, but he had 4 sacks, and one of them was a strip sack, and they wind up getting a Super Bowl berth but never win, do you think he's worth the money?
If he can do that consistently.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. I feel like if he is worth the money if the postseason numbers increase.
And he can do it consistently.
And he can do it consistently. Yeah. But I am also on the side of, I've always said this forever and ever, that I am okay with players getting way more money than they should because the owners already do.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
You
I'm
know what I
with you
mean?
there.
Like, the players are the product. The owners make money hand over fist off of every person on that roster and every
Regardless.
coach, regardless. Right. So, when people ask me about Brock Purdy's uh, contract, or they ask me about, Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, I want every player to get everything that they think they deserve. And if they don't and they compromise, that doesn't mean they lost either, because the money that they got is still more than they had.
Right, right,
You know,
right.
and
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, I watch football games for the players and not the owners.
Oh, absolutely. Because
You know,
I say like this. I only know a couple of owners, and those are the ones that make sure you know who they are because they're on the news or always doing something to put themselves on the news. And like I tell you, I know a hell of a lot more players than I know owners.
right?
I mean,
Yeah,
I know who a hell of a lot more players are than I know, who the owners are. So I concur, and I completely agree that the game is watched for the players, not the owners at all.
yeah. Jerry Jones, the only owner we really care about because he always doing something.
And that's the thing I wanted to stress the most here is, regardless of whether the Dallas Cowboys win the draft, win the trade or lose the trade, as long as they're in the news, that's all that Jerry Jones wants, right? He's the person who owns, you know, the most prolific sports team in the world. In the world, not even in the country, in the world. They are the most profitable team in the world in the sports arena.
Yep. So, anything else y'all want to add, or y'all want to wrap this up?
Yeah, we can wrap this up. I just wanted to say Jerry Jones is officially the 90s and 2000s, 70s and 80s Al Davis.
Oh yeah. Yep. I agree.
That is before my times.
Right. We know that that bad publicity is still publicity.
Yeah.
Yup.
You know.
And Al Davis, I put it to you like this, Moss. In the 70s and 80s, Jerry Jones was Al Davis. The owner that everybody knew that was always on the news, always doing something. Al Davis. Always trying to some way, somehow getting that player to come play for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That one player, like, how do you Al Davis?
Yeah, I watched Al Davis versus the NFL. I think it was a 30 for 30.
Yes, it was. Yep.
Yeah. They didn't like Al.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently. So, if that's everything, man, we can go ahead and wrap this up. I'm Moss Pride. This is my boy Otis. Coach, can you hit us with your phrase real quick before we head on out?
You already know, baby. Coach Common here, 6'4", 280 pounds. I don't move so easy, baby. Not move podcast.
Yeah.
Wrap up, but you don't want broke up.
Yes, sir.
Lock out.
Yes, sir. This is Not Move Podcast. Lock in, log out, and much love to you, Not Move family.
Absolutely. Peace.
Have a good night.
Yes, sir.